several new states popping up, and over half a dozen states that are considering it in the legislatures right now for next year.
We're back with another episode of 5 Minutes with an HR Pro, and Paul Corellis is here, the VP of HR Services, and we're going to be talking a little bit about the wave of pay transparency and what that means for businesses across the U.S. So, Paul, do you want to give us a little snippet?
Yeah. So a lot of companies in several states are really gearing up for new pay transparency laws. So where I sit in Massachusetts, um, compliance will be needed by the end of October of this year. Meanwhile, in New Jersey, that's coming up really soon, June 1st deadline. And then over in Vermont, they have a deadline to comply in July. So several new states popping up, and over half a dozen states that are considering it in the legislatures right now for next year.
Wow, those deadlines are coming up quick. They will be here so soon.
For sure.
Are there systems or process that businesses would have to put in place to ensure job postings and internal communication align with evolving laws?
Yeah, definitely. It's tricky. It's quite a matrix if you look state to state. So if you're a multi-state employer, it's going to be really important you familiarize yourself with what the respective state laws really mean and say. Definitely recommend partnering up with an HR professional, just because there can be subtle nuances. So that can vary from what exactly has to be posted, whether it's just job ads, what is the definition of a job ad or posting, you know, what has to be disclosed, just salary range, or some states require also major benefits to be disclosed as well. And also one really important thing is if you do hire remote workers, when you post, if that job can be done by a person in a state that is subject to pay transparency laws, you may need to be in compliance with those. So Colorado has really been on the forefront of that. They've really gone after some of those remote job postings if that job is open to be employed by someone in Colorado.
Okay. And then would businesses need to adjust their compensation strategy to stay compliant while remaining competitive in the talent acquisition field?
Yeah, so if you're in one of those states that has a pay transparency law coming up, you really don't want to drag your feet on this, because what I recommend against is really what I call the Band-Aid approach. So just saying, okay, we're going to be in compliance whenever we put a job posting on a job board or a website. We're going to put the salary range and we'll be good to go. We'll be compliant. What happens then is internal current employees that you have start to see those things and compare it against what they're getting paid. And if you haven't taken the time to really study your overall compensation philosophy and plan organization wide, you're going to run into some conflicts. I even talked to a business who decided to kind of take the Band-Aid approach and posted for a position, and then when they checked their applicant tracking system, realized that one of their current employees in that same role applied for the job, and they questioned it, and they said, well, that job makes way more than I do now, so I decided to apply for my own job all over again. So it's really important that you don't just, again, take the Band-Aid approach where you're slapping a range on your new positions. You really want to take a look at what you have going on internally, do some salary surveys, and if you're up for it, really develop a whole communication plan with your staff to let them know what steps you're taking, how you justify what they're being paid, and depending on what you find, you may also realize that you need to do some job grading. So having a level 1, a level 2, a level 3, or maybe a junior, mid-level, and senior position, just to avoid some of the pitfalls that you can run into when it comes to this topic.
Amazing. We have tons of resources on the pay transparency stuff. I know Paul just did a webinar recently, so head on over to our website, check it out. If you have more questions, I happen to know a really, really knowledgeable HR person we can get you in touch with. So I appreciate everyone, and we'll catch you next week.
Thank you.